What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here, and welcome to Recon's Piece, episode 30, man. We've been building up to this one for quite some time, over the past, 2 years, man, but we finally hit episode 30, and what better way to start off, or to have a special episode like this, than to start off our 20th anniversary special for the One Piece anime, where we're going to be covering every single movie, and every single special ever released by Toei for the One Piece series, man. And I decided to start off with 3D2Y, since 3D2Y, we recently just got a Blu-ray and DVD combo release just recently over here, so I was like, heck yeah, man, let's get right into somewhere and talk about 3D2Y. So I just finished rewatching this. I haven't watched 3D2Y since they originally released this, which I believe was in August of 2014. And of course I watched that in Japanese, so this is my first time watching this in the dub, and I had to say, man, the dub did a really, really good job. A very good job. Shout-outs to Colleen for delivering a great performance as Luffy, especially in those key pivotal moments in the final fight with Burndy World. Really good stuff. You can really feel the emotion behind every single yell and scream and every single attack. It was great. Really, really great stuff. It allowed me to get immersed and invested in a moment that I've already seen before. And that's what was great about this, because it was a great re-experience. I haven't watched this movie in about 4.5 years. So it was great. I genuinely got surprised by a couple of things, man. So it was really, really nice. So let's go ahead and talk about 3D2Y. But before we get into the 3D2Y film, I just want to say a couple things real fast, man. When it comes to, I did a little bit of research for the movie. Now, because I told y'all after episode 870, I was like, man, I am gonna start researching these directors and these animators, because I want to start giving credit to the people who deliver and give us these great scenes. And I love the style of this film, man, and I'm looking forward to whenever I get a chance to cover movie 6, because movie 6 probably has my favorite style out of all of the One Piece movies. But this one right here had such a nice art style to it that I was like, I gotta, after I finish this film, I have to figure out who in the world was the general director, or the director behind this thing. So I got two names right here, right? So the overall director for the entire film, and not from an animation standpoint, but just the overall director who was overseeing everything, was Naoyuki Ito. And this individual also directed episode 0. If y'all remember episode 0, that was the episode where we got to see the events of the day that, or certain events. So we got to see the Ed War with Shiki and with Roger. We got to see the day that Roger was executed, and also through the eyes of, or not really through the eyes, but seeing a lot of sightings of a young Doflamingo, a young Mihawk, a young Shanks, all of them there, a young Smoker, all there at the ground. It was a really, really well put together episode. I love watching that in my spare time, man. It's I mean, I love the lore and flashbacks in One Piece anyway, but that's one of them that I just look back on. It's just perfect. You just see all these characters that you normally see in present time, and how they were before, and it's really, really cool. So he directed episode 0 and the storyboard for Strong World, and also directed a few episodes of another series that I really, really love that I just recently watched, called Chihaya Furu. So I was like, all right, this dude, he's been in swimwear, man. He's been into swimwear. So then the other one is Kodai Watanabe. Now this dude was the character designer and the general animation director. Now this individual recently worked on the greatness and the awesome sauce that is episode 870, man. Yo, and it is one of my favorite scenes in the entire episode. One of my favorite scenes. It's whenever Luffy is jetting towards Katakuri. You get a really, really nice close-up, and it's a very intense shot of him charging up a punch. And then Katakuri comes up, and you see his eye turns and goes in the zone. And that entire exchange right there, that's 45 seconds. I searched it up on, because I searched up his name on Sakuga Boru, the website that shows a lot of scenes that a lot of these animators have done. And I searched up his name on there, and this was the first thing that popped up. I was like, yo, this individual did that scene? I was like, yo! So great stuff right there. And I searched up a couple of this individual's other scenes from One Piece. There was that one scene with Rebecca and Diamante that was really nice. Also the scene from Hard Knock Days, where Luffy and Law are running, and they see Doflamingo, and Doflamingo has I always like the way that he was shaded in that particular thing, you know, there was like they're all running towards him, the song, the beats dropping, and you see Dofi, and then they just like spin around each other. And in Hard Knock Days, it's that portion right there was also animated by him, and then a couple other scenes from other series like Tiger Mask and whatnot was also on here. But regardless, the scenes that he did in One Piece were really nice. I really enjoy this person's style. Kodai Watanabe's style is just really nice, because there's just something about how not even how fluid it is, it just how realistic it feels. And it's, I don't know, I liked it. I like the style, and I was like, man, whenever I finished this, I gotta figure out who it was that was like the general designer slash like animator for this. And you know, there was a lot of other names on here, of course, but the main character designer and the general animation director was Kodai Watanabe. And usually when a person is doing that, even when other people work on it, they have to like oversee it and make it like in their work in their own style, because if not, it'll just be like a whole bunch of different styles clashing in one episode, and it would be very easy to distinguish which style belongs to who, because it would just be a whole bunch of different, you know, art styles and whatnot. So that's the job of the, at least that's what I'm thinking. That's the job of the general animation director and character, the character designer just designs the character, but at least that's what I think. And then the general animation director is the one that, of course, oversees everything. But whenever they receive these cuts or these scenes, then they have to like make it more to their own style, right? I mean, I'm assuming that, because if not, then it's just gonna be a whole bunch of different styles. And regardless, man, let's get into the let's get into the special, man. See, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn more about the animation process, because it genuinely interests me. It genuinely does interest me, man. Now, getting into 3D2Y, getting into the awesome sauce. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I've spoken about this many times in the channel, man. I know, I'm pretty sure y'all are tired of it by now, but, you know, I've said many times that if Marineford, post-Marineford, and Return to Sabaody are one arc, that to me is just, it's, I mean, there's like nothing above that, to me, man, to me, right? Because that combination of arcs right there is just perfect. It's perfect. And when you go back to back with this, and then this, oh, man, dude. I mean, I love big like in certain series, whenever stuff is culminating and it finally pops off. And I also love time skips. I love me some time skips, but more importantly, what's happening before the time skip and what's happening after the time skip. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it the time skip happened? What are the events before the time skip that happened? And I feel like that's where a lot of series not really fail, but where it doesn't make it as great as it should be. Now, maybe I'm spoiled by One Piece, because this was one of the first time skips that I ever saw. So maybe it is that I'm spoiled by One Piece, but the way that this was built up, and the way that we had the entire series culminating to Marineford, and then following from Marineford, we had post-Marineford, and then after post-Marineford, Legendary 3D2Y, the message, everyone gets it, okay, well, I'll see y'all in 3 days, 2 years, cross that out, we went on a 5-week break, we come back, the Legendary Chapter 598 comes out, and we start Return to Sabaody, man. That entire stretch of chapters right there, nothing better. For me, man, there's nothing better, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it has a special place in my heart. Like, that entire portion of the story has a very special place in my heart. Now, this movie, of course, takes place in between all of that. This movie takes place in the middle of the training with Luffy and Rayleigh, and him trying to learn more about hockey, and, you know, of course, trying to get much stronger before they meet up in Sabaody. And by the end of the movie, it's 6 months. So, what I love about, okay, so let's talk about the character interactions. Man. Because I love scenes with Luffy and Rayleigh a lot, especially whenever we're flashing back to the training that they went through. Like, we just recently did that in the anime with in Luffy vs. Katakuri quite a few times, and I always enjoy that. You know, the student-teacher relationships are, I really enjoy anyway. But Luffy and Rayleigh, since we didn't get to see much of it, whenever we do actually get to flashback to it, I enjoy it a lot, man. Even if it's filler, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care, man. That's the Dark King, and that's my king. going into like swimwear and some training. So I always enjoy that, and I always enjoy like their silly character interactions. It was nice seeing Luffy train a little bit with the animals and whatnot. But another character interaction, another character relationship that I really love in the story, man, is Luffy and Hancock, because it's genuinely just hilarious. It really is. It's like how also in this movie, Buggy, Mr. 3, and Luffy, how their chemistry is just incredible, which is what makes Impel Down probably the funniest arc in the series. It's that Long Ring Long and Thriller Bark that are like the funniest arcs for me. But it's that kind of chemistry to me, man, because Luffy is obviously not paying any attention, but the fact that Hancock acts completely different to everyone else and just singles out Luffy it's just hilarious to me. Just seeing Hancock act the way that she does always gets to me, and I don't know why, man. Even whenever she was in her battle later on in the film, whenever she's trying to seduce, and I don't know why I find Hancock to be such a funny character, but I do. All right, I do. And her and Luffy's character interactions are always fantastic to me. So just getting an entire movie based on that was always welcome. And I had forgotten a lot of these interactions, so they really got me. I got a huge pop. And Hancock's voice actress, which I do not remember at this point in time off the top of my head, does a really good job playing Hancock. So props to her. Her English voice actress. I mean, her Japanese voice actress, of course, but her English voice actress does a great job. But yeah, man, starting from the beginning, overall, dude, I don't know what it is, man. I guess maybe I was feeling emotional this morning or something, bro, but by God, when I started watching this film and those flashbacks hit, man, the flashbacks of Luffy meeting everyone and like whenever he's just signaling back, talking about I still have my friends, bro, but before that, really, like him and Riley are talking at the campfire. Oh, man, and he's talking about Zoro and Nami and Usopp and going through all the Straw Hats, man, and then the music was playing, and then we flashed, and with the flashback to Marineford as well, man, that kills me every time, no matter if I see it for a couple seconds, if I see it in anime, if I see it in manga, it doesn't matter if I see it in a video game, it always kills me, bro. Thank you for loving me, man. I just recently rewatched that entire thing with Super Mecha Frieza. I was dead. I was dead on the inside, man. It's freaking Ace's death, bro. Like, come on, man. It gets me every time, coach. So, all that stuff, the flashbacks in the beginning got to me. I'm not gonna lie. They were well warranted and really nice and great. Really well reanimated, as if that's even a good way to state that, because I just felt like they all looked great and they served their purpose. So that was also great right there. Once again, seeing the certain character interactions. I was talking about Buggy earlier. It was great seeing Buggy, man, again. Buggy, Mr. 3, and Luffy will forever have... I mean, Buggy, Mr. 3 and his crew. So let's talk about Buggy, Mr. 3 and his crew, because Buggy and Luffy didn't really have that many interactions in this film, and when they did, it was still funny, but it gets me every time, man, when Buggy's out here trying to take credit. And at this point, he's acknowledging it. He's like, all right, man, I'm a warlord, and it was so cool. Actually, because like I said, I hadn't watched this in a long time, so I forgot that Mihawk showed up. Bro, when I saw Perona, I was like, my girl! Hold on. I was like, all right, we Perona's up in here. Then I saw Mihawk. I was like, yes. But aside from that, I had also forgotten that we got Kizaru in this movie. We got Kong, Akainu. Y'all know me, man. I'm an Akainu mark. That's my boy. Especially post-time with a chin badger. I was like, all right. And we had Sudo in here too, man. So it was nice. And then by the end, man, my man Akainu was firing his own Buster Call, man. Meteor volcanoes all day. And it was nasty. So, I really enjoyed those surprise interactions. So like I said, I had forgotten. I had forgotten a lot of this film, except for the stuff going on with Burndy and some of the fighting scenes with Luffy. I had forgotten a lot about this movie. So, but going back to Buggy real fast, that never gets old for me, man. That never gets old for me, bro. The gag with him and his crew will never get old. Dude, every time it popped me. Huge. Whenever he said, all right, man, we're going to go in like swimmer, we're going to go take out Burndy World. And then, of course, he whispers to Mr. 3, he's like, man, I hope Straw Hat just takes him out. I really hope that Straw Hat kicks his ass, bro. I hope he goes in like swimwear, yo. So that was great. And then, of course, later on, whenever they were fighting against one of Burndy World's crew members, and Buggy's about to release a buggy ball. He releases a buggy ball from his foot. It causes a whole bunch of smoke. Hancock, in her rage, trying to find Luffy, pones and hits this man with the sweetest sweet chin music of all time, bro. I mean, straight up spins, gah! Sweet chin music, I mean, knocks dude clean out. Half of his body is turned to stone. That's how you know you got knocked out, coach. And then Hancock immediately spreads after that, and they're all like, oh, Buggy took him out. Let's go, Captain Buggy. Then you have Kabaji, bro. He's like, hey, man, F it, dog. And if they're in it too, Buggy. And I was like, yo, we've got to chill, man. We've got to chill. I love Buggy's crew, bro. I've even said before on many different occasions that I think aside from the Straw Hats, even more than Blackbeard's crew, I'd probably still the seas with Buggy's crew. I mean, it'd just be hilarious. It would be a great time at all times. I love Buggy's crew, man. So it was great to see more of them. Great interaction between all of them, and it just really made me excited. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get Buggy again in the story, in the actual manga, which I'm still on the prediction that it's gonna happen in Elbaf. But aside from that, man, that was great. And once again, going back to Perona, that was a big surprise, man. Seeing Perona pop up on Burndy World's ship, and I was like, holy sweet mother of Flagnards, man. Because whenever she showed up, I was like, wait a minute, I do not remember this at all. And then, of course, we got to see her with Mihawk. My man Mihawk had a Getsuga Tensho at the end of this, split that cannonball in half, and I was like, this is, I dig this, man. Great fan service. And then the flashbacks in the film were also well warranted. We got the good flashbacks with the young Burndy World. Well, actually, before I get into the flashback, let me go ahead and talk about the Burndy World and his crew real fast. So, Burndy World as a character, I remembered specifically because I enjoyed his ability a lot, but I also enjoyed his backstory. And this was one of the things that I did remember pretty vividly, except for the whenever Cypher Pole betrays him. So, we got a young Burndy World flashback. We got two flashbacks of Burndy World. The first one is a young Burndy World flashback where he's taking on Garp and Sengoku in a coalition with other pirates, with certain pirates. And they're in a coalition in order to take out Burndy World. Now, Burndy World, some of his crew members were actually Cypher Pole agents that were just under surveillance, just gathering information and waiting for the perfect opportunity to betray him. We get to Shigan, and that was the end of that. And then, of course, his crew escapes and leaves him behind, all because they want their dream to continue moving forward. And Burndy World feels this so much. I mean, it fuels him so much that we see it in present time as in, yo, man, this guy has been... I mean, this stuff has been eating him alive. Like, yo, my crew real deal betrayed me. And what I love most about this is that they specify that he's been frozen in time, just in a cryogenic sleep for the past 30 years. And at the end of the movie, he even tells his older brother, he's like, look, man, all that stuff that happened on that ship, that didn't happen 30 years ago to me. To me, it feels like it just happened yesterday. So it still hurts. I haven't had time for this scar to heal. And I was like, man, when you look at it that way, that's so true. That's so true, man. And then, of course, getting his flashback to how it is that he came to know these guys and how him and his older brother initially went out and set out to sea, seeking freedom. And I thought it was cool because the film starts off with Luffy and Ace going out that they want to set out to sea, to find Sabo again one day. And it was beautiful seeing it from Burndy World and his older brother's perspective. Getting that very same scene, which is how they also started their journey. And then, of course, we got to see his journey and how he went through and continued to go in like swimwear and through trying to get this freedom. He was called Burndy World the Destroyer because he was just so strong that, and then he started pwning people. People started taking L's, and eventually his bounty went up to 500 mil, and people feared him. I mean, the whole world feared him, coach. And it was interesting to me because of the dynamic that the writer of this decided to play around with. Whereas Luffy is spending this entire time, and, yo, I mean, he was going through it. My man Luffy had to, real deal, just like the title says, overcoming Ace's death, Luffy's pledge to his friends. He really had to overcome Ace's death in this one, man, because he got brought up so many times to him. All the way back on the island where they first fought, Burndy World, bringing up the fact that he couldn't save his brother. That junk emotionally hit Luffy right there, to the fact where he couldn't even fight. And then in the second round, we're back on Burndy World's ship. They're constantly being told, like, yo, man, you couldn't even save your brother. You expect to save yourself? Like screw saving your brother and your friends. You can't even save yourself, dog. And man, dude, I was like, yo, so here we have Burndy World, who is casting away his older brother, in a similar way with Luffy and Ace, his older brother and his crew, to further his own goals. Whereas you have Luffy giving a pause to his goal of becoming Pirate King, because he lost his older brother, and he realized that he was not strong enough. Because he lost his crew and his older brother, he said, "Alright, man, I gotta train. Because not only able to protect anybody, I'm never going through something like that ever again. Because I still have my friends, man." And you have those two different dynamics, and the way they played right there at the end was beautiful. It was fantastic. It was truly a clash of ideologies of two people that have gone through similar situations. And that's why I always remember Burndy World, because I was like, Burndy World, if things could have gone a little bit differently, Burndy World could have been an awesome ally, you know, and whatnot, and in a couple of cases. But at the end, man, that just wasn't the case, and he proved to be a great antagonist for Luffy at that current situation, and that's why I always remembered him. And it was some great stuff, man. Really nice flashbacks. It's always nice seeing young Garp and young Sengoku, and I really like both of their English voices. Sengoku's English voice is really awesome. I always think of him as what's his name from Fullmetal Alchemist. Man, I don't remember his name now, but it was Führer Bradley. He was the Führer in Full Metal, so I always think of him the same way that every single time I hear Ace, I always think of Roy Mustang in the dub. But anyways, so we had those flashbacks, Burndy World, and so that all that went down right there. Now, let me go ahead and talk about the final sequence of this entire film right here, man. Listen, man. So my man Buggy, my man Buggy's going in. He's cheering on Luffy, man, and him and Mr. 3 are supposedly helping out, trying to save their own selves, just like back in Impel Down. They tell Luffy to go on ahead. We have all that greatness going down with Hancock. Hancock has a really fun battle of her own. Comes back, one-shots dude. And then we have, on the outside, we have Akainu coming up in their, like, swimwear on top of Burndy World's base, bro, because they're they're next to Marineford. So Buggy's crew told the Marines, like, yo, man, we're gonna handle business, but, you know, he wanted to back up from an admiral. Alright, you want an admiral? They sent the head, bro. They sent Akainu himself, and I forgot about this. So I'm sitting here and I see Akainu. All you see is Akainu's silhouette, or not a silhouette, but like a side of his face. You see his chin, the little chin badger he's growing, man. You see the classic the Hawaiian shirt, and then you've got like the side of his marine hair, and then his eyes are silhouetted, and you see the cigar. And you're like, that's my boy Akainu. So you have like Akainu going up in there, and yo, one of the Marines is like, hey, that's Warlord Buggy. We should tell him to escape. I mean, what do you want us to do? My man Akainu said, what do you think? Fire! I was like, yo, this man said, I'm gonna stop for him? Fire them damn cannons, dog! I was like, alright, man. This dude Akainu's a beast. So we have all the cannons just raining down upon Burndy World's ship, which is coincidentally happening at the same time that Luffy is about to have his final encounter with Burndy World. So right in the middle of Luffy trying to go save Margaret and the rest of Boa's sisters, and then we have, of course, Boa coming in saving them and leaving Luffy versus Burndy World. Not only Burndy, though. Brundy's older brother also comes in there as well. And this was very, very important because Luffy and Burndy World, Burndy World was dominating Luffy for a majority of this, and then Luffy started going ham on him as he started to get more used to using his haki. But there's this one emotional moment, man. And I love this soundtrack so much. It's called If You Live, and every single time I hear this soundtrack, I always think back to Water 7, whenever Nami delivers her speech to Luffy whenever he's stuck, and saying how Robin, Nami starts crying and saying how all this stuff that just took place, and how we need to go over there and save Robin. Stop messing around. It's one of my favorite Nami speeches, man. One of my favorite moments in Water 7. And then this is the same OST that plays in Robin's flashback. It's a great soundtrack. So they started playing that soundtrack for whenever Burndy World and his older brother are having this conversation. And Burndy World, because he feels so betrayed, and because, like I said before, everything that took place in that flashback to him just happened just yesterday, like just recently. So that scar hasn't healed, man. The fact that his crew betrayed him, he feels like he has to do everything on his own, man. He, in the spur of the moment, went to go kill his brother. And my man Luffy, because Luffy overheard this. Luffy overheard him, Burndy World, call his friends tools, and even say that his brother, like, should just die if he's gonna stand in the way of his dream. Oh, man, bro. And since Luffy hasn't gotten over Ace's death yet, woo! Man going over there, hockeyed up, blocked it. It was such a beautiful scene, man. Luffy goes right up in there, and we have some of the nastiest. It's like 3 minutes of just Sakuga animation glory, bro. I mean, it was beautiful. But not only that, it was emotional, man. You felt those hits, dog. Like I said, Colleen was doing a fantastic job of just nailing it, man. Jetto Gatale! Jet Presto! Ah, man! It was great. Wonderful shots, man. I mean, just the way... There was some really glorious stuff right here, man. Luffy, taking his ankle and his feet and wrapping it around freaking Burndy World's shin. And then he used that as a way to pull himself even faster. And just, he knocks him right in the mouth. Burndy World tries to Virgo up, man. He goes full hockey and then just start boxing, duking it out. And then you just feel the emotion behind every punch. Flashbacks are coming in. And then you have, bro, Burndy World is going ham. Luffy's going ham. But nah, man, Luffy goes right back. He pulls his arm all the way back. And you see the fire coming out, man. This is probably one of my favorite final attacks for Luffy. Even though it's in a movie, I don't care, man. It's so GOAT. And the legendary soundtrack that hits whenever Luffy's poning Lucci with the Jet Gatling plays right here as well, bro. Man puts his arm all the way back, hits the fattest Red Hawk of all time. You thought Hody got hit with a Red Hawk. Nah, son. This man pulled it all the way back. Goes right in, and in the flames, you see all the Straw Hats, and then right before he hits the attack, you see Ace, and you're like, Red, no! And Burndy gets pwned. I'm marking out, man. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little emotional. Because I was just the way that it got. I was emotional. I was hyped. I was like, let's go! And I had already seen this before, man. Just credit against Colleen for the great voice acting. But great scene, man. I legit, like I said, bro, I had forgotten a lot of these scenes, but even the ones that I remember, man, still hit, and that was one of them. Really great stuff. The final sequences with Burndy World and his brother, and how his brother said, you know, we're gonna start over again, world. We can start over again, man. You know. Now we can take this ship and actually start searching for freedom. And right before that happened, Burndy World went to go use the cannon, which is something that he had prided himself on. Like, he wanted to blast that cannon into the Marijoa, go to Marineford, and then blast the cannon into the Marijoa and just do something massive to the world government as revenge for causing the Cypher Pole, or for the Cypher Pole going up on his ship and betraying them, or just revealing their plans and then pwning them. He wanted revenge for that. So in these past 30 years, they created this big cannon, which he'd always wanted. It went really well with his devil fruit, which is the more fruit. So he had this cannon, and he was ready to go in like somewhere. And yo, that was a massive cannon, man. That was a massive cannon. And then the cannonball was even bigger. He shoots that thing, and you see Mihawk go up in. He jumps, runs on the cannon, tosses up, and he hits a Getsuga Tensho, just, yeah! Same one he did in Marineford. I mean, not as strong as the one in Marineford, like, just split that thing in half. When he just hits a whoosh, nice slash, cannonball gets cut in half, and like, alright, this is why a warlord's here, man. And it was a really nice final sequence right there. But overall, man, and then of course, we get the phenomenal ending. Well, going back to what I was saying before, we got the little hints 3D to why. We had Luffy and Rayleigh in their final scene before Rayleigh heads off to go back to Sabaody, and says that Luffy says he still has 6 months, so he's going to take this time training. Then right after that, we get to see the Sabaody greatness, return to Sabaody. Goes back, chapter 598, Awesome Sauce, episode 517, where he takes the hat, puts it on his head, Ikzo, and then we see all the Straw Hats get back together, and the film ends with Luffy, or I should say before we get the credits, the film ends with them setting off to set sail into Fishman Island with all the crew back together. And then in the credits end scene itself, man, we got my boy. I'll never forget first watching this when it first released in 2014, because it was my thumbnail and I just didn't care anymore. I was so hyped, man. When I saw Sabo at the end, bro, it genuinely caught me off guard, man. I was marking out the first time I watched it, bro. So that was one of the scenes that I remembered from when I first watched it. And God, just seeing the sake cup right there, the music's hitting, man. You're like, my boy Sabo, and you get the smile, and the dog. Greatness, man. I had so much fun watching this. From great fan service with Buggy and seeing Perona and Mihawk. The great character interactions between Luffy and Hancock. Great interactions between Luffy and Burndy World. Great interactions between Luffy and Rayleigh, because I always enjoy those scenes right there. And just great flashbacks. Burndy World himself as a character was a great antagonist for Luffy, and I really enjoyed it, man. This was a good sauce of a film, and I had a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun, bro, from beginning to end. Seeing so many of those scenes, once again, like Luffy with his training, Luffy and Hancock just strolling and being together was great. There was some really good fighting scenes whenever they first got on the island. Hancock was going in like swimmer, knocking dudes out, man. I enjoy Hancock's fighting style, so it was really cool seeing that and seeing her working together with Luffy. Just great stuff, man. And once again, Hancock's hilarious. Hancock's hilarious. Her and Luffy's interactions, Buggy, and I had so much fun, man. And it was a great film to watch. Like I said, after I just recently watched a lot of Marineford with Super Mecha Frieza, so it was a great. It just fit. It fit after watching what I recently watched, and I had a lot of fun, man. 3D 2Y greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not watched this, or if you haven't picked up the Blu-ray DVD or whatever it is, man, give it a shot. Give it a shot, because it's a lot of fun. If you enjoy the great flashbacks that we get to, like Luffy and Rayleigh, this is like an entire movie dedicated to that, man, and Luffy's training to what he did filler-wise in those 2 years. And of course getting a nice adventure with Luffy and Hancock going to save Hancock's sisters, and just some great stuff whenever they actually get onto the Burndy World ship, man. And so many nice sightings, certain characters, Buggy greatness, great fighting sequences, and then of course that phenomenal final sequence with Burndy World versus Luffy, man. And God, I mean, I had chills, bro. I mean, I was like, yo, this is why Luffy's my MC, dog. This is why he's my GOAT. And anytime that a special or a movie can do that to you, man, and reminds you why it is that the series is greatness, it does a good job. So I give it a good sauce, man. No question. I give it a good sauce. It delivered on many different aspects. Of course, they could have done more when it comes to the characterization or just highlighting more on Burndy World's crew, but I understood why it is that they decided to sacrifice more on the crew and decided to focus more on Burndy World, because it all led to that final payoff with Burndy World and Luffy, and that's why they spent so much time on Burndy World's relationship with his older brother, and that's why we got mainly interaction between them and not between the rest of his crew. But yeah, man, this movie made me want to go back and rewatch Film Z, because I remember how phenomenal and emotional that final fight in Film Z is, and I was like, God, I can't wait to go back and rewatch the end of Film Z, man. So that's gonna be great. But for right now, one film down. One special is down out of our 20th anniversary special we're gonna be doing here on the channel. 3D2Y is a good sauce, man. Once again, really enjoyed this one, and it was great. It was great, man. It's always nice to just have a like, I enjoy One Piece filler because I just love the characters so much. I don't care what it is that they're doing. I mean, they could be doing the most random of things, and I'll enjoy it, especially whenever you have great stuff like there is in here. And I love me some fan service, man. You can't tell me you don't get hype, bro. Whenever you can see, especially for me, I love Buggy, man. Y'all know me, getting Buggy action, getting Mihawk action. I love it. I love it, man. Great stuff. So I will see y'all next time, man. Have an awesome day. This has been Recon's Piece, episode 30. If you like this format that I did for the 3D2Y special, please let me know, man. Or if you want me to do a different type of format for movies. I mean, for me, I'd prefer just to do it like this because it just causes me to be free, causes me to mark out as much as I want, man. I can be like Burndy World and his brother at the end, man. Just be free and talk about the awesome sauce that I love so much, man. And it was great just being able to get my thoughts out there, because after watching it, I was like, man, yo, this really was a good time. So thank you very much for watching, man. If you have recently watched this 3D2Y special as well, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know your favorite scenes, favorite moments, and what you think of Burndy World as a character, and what did you think about the character interactions within the story itself. For 3D2Y, man. So I'll see y'all next time. Shout out to the awesomeness and the greatness. Maybe it's because I'm biased, like I said before, bro. I love that entire stretch between Marineford to return to Sabaody. So I'm like, maybe I'm biased, but the fact that this takes place right there in between all that, so how could it go wrong, man? How could it go wrong? You know what? Just for that, just for the time placement, I'm biased. I'm giving it a great sauce. I'm giving it a great sauce, bro. It takes place in between post Marineford and return to Sabaody, man. Come on, son. It's Luffy and Hancock on an adventure. I'm done. I'm out of here. Y'all have an awesome day. Buggy is greatness. Luffy is my pirate king. 3D2Y was awesome sauce, man.